Hello my dear students, in this particular lecture we will be covering or continuing with the introduction of electric drives. So we already had one lecture on the introduction and we will just study some of the advantages of DC electric drives before we continue to the upcoming sessions. That means the detailed operation that we are going to do. So DC motors or direct motors, they have a variable characteristics and are used extensively in variable speed drives. Variable speed drives, because variable, that means two important things are there. One is control and the second part is variation. So these are the two very important requirements, you can say, which are the guiding factors how you will be operating your drives. One is the controllability and another is the variability. So variable speed drives, that means your speed, that is n, that will be variable. So they had variable characteristics and it is extensively used for variable speed drives. So DC motors can provide a high starting torque. In fact, of all the machines, DC motor has the capability of doing or giving the highest starting torque, which is very useful for your electric drive applications. And second part is, it will be giving you speed control over a very wide range. That is another advantage of DC motor drives or other DC drives. So the methods of speed control are normally simpler. They are less expensive than those of AC drives. So one is the simplicity. This is important. And number two is wide range. Number three is less expensive. And last but not the least is your tau st is the highest. Now why the starting torque is highest, I will just give you a conception why it is highest. But these are the factors why we will choose DC motor drives over AC drives. These are one of the main reasons. So DC motors play a significant role in modern industrial drives. So first, before coming to the industrial applications, let us first see that how you are getting the highest starting torque, that we are going to analyze. Let's study it. So suppose, let us draw a DC motor. It is a series motor, so you will have a series field winding. Here you will give the supply voltage, which is Vs. This is the series field resistance RAC. Here internally you will have RA, that is the armature resistance. IA, it is the armature current. The back EMF, it will be given by EB. EB is the back EMF, and at the output you will be getting the torque and the speed. So now if I apply KVL in this particular loop, you will be getting Vs minus Ia. What are the resistances that are encountered? That is RAC plus RA is equal to what? It is equal to EB. What is EB? EB is nothing but the back EMF. EB is back EMF. Now we are acquainted with another equation. The back EMF EB, it is rather given by NP phi z by 60A. It is equal to NP phi z by 60A. So basically in this particular equation, which are variable? The flux and the speed, they are variable. So the rest are constant. So you can write this as a constant K into N into phi. So what we are going to do is we are going to just substitute this value over here, K N phi. Correct? Now what will be your N? That is your speed. So your N will be equal to Vs minus Ia into RAC plus RA, that means armature resistance, whole divided by K phi. This will be equal to K phi. So now what is your field? You are having a series field. So again, what is phi? Phi is proportional to Ia. What current is flowing through this resistance? Ia. So more is the armature current, more will be the flux, that is phi. So phi is proportional to Ia. So I can write this as phi is equal to K phi Ia. This I can write. So here I can replace this by Vs minus Ia RAC plus RA divided by K phi into Ia. So basically what is happening is your speed in case of series motor will now be a function of Ia. Your flux, because Ia in this particular equation is the only variable, provided you keep the other parameters constant. Again, phi is also a function of Ia. Now again, what will be the torque? So torque will be equal to what? It should be equal to K tau phi into Ia. Right? Now what is phi? It is proportional to Ia. k phi ia. So substitute the value over here. So k tau k phi ia square. So basically your torque here is proportional to ia square. So the torque is proportional to the square of the armature current. So that's why when a series motor starts, it will draw huge amount of current, and more is the current, more will be the torque. But here tau is proportional to ia square, so the starting torque will be very, very high. So that's why DC motor will give you high starting torque, in fact highest starting torque. So this is one important conception you have to remember while you study DC motor drives. So how you are getting the highest starting torque? That means two things are important. Let me erase all these things. Two things are very important. Number one, it is your N equation, that means speed equation. Number two, that is your torque equation. Because why these two equations are very important? These two are very important. But why? Because the output of an electric drive is nothing but its speed and torque. That's why always you have to be concerned with the speed and torque equation when you are studying any type of electric drive, not only DC motor drive. That's why they are very, very important. So now the torque equation we are familiar with, but let us study the speed equation once more. So let us study the speed equation. So N is equal to V S minus I RA plus RAC, that means the series and the armature resistance, divided by K phi. That means your speed will be a function of IA and phi. Rather, what is this IARA? It is basically VA. So basically it is a function of VA and phi. But if you study a general DC machine, this is your field winding. So it may be in series, so it will be RAC. It may be in parallel, in that case it will be shunt or RSH. And this field, it may be a separate from the main circuit, so it is RACP. But whatever its location may be, what actually flows through it? It is the field current IF. In all the cases it will be IF, but in series case, which I had already dealt with a few minutes ago, it is incidentally equal to IA in series, because the armature current is flowing through the field, because it is in series with the armature. But that is a special case. But if I study a DC machine, actually it will be IF. So basically the flux that is phi, that will be proportional to IF. So now if you substitute IF over here in place of phi, so your speed will be is equal to a function of VA and IF. So when you are controlling the speed, either you have to control VA or you have to control IF. So when you are controlling VA, it is called armature voltage control. And when you are controlling IF, it is called field current control. So two types of control is possible. One is the armature voltage control and another is the field current control. These two things are possible. So DC motors play a significant role in modern industrial drives. So both series and separately excited DC motors are normally used in variable speed drives, but series motors are traditionally employed for traction applications. So what is traction basically? So traction is basically employed where tractive force, that means large amount of force, is required, like in railways. So where huge starting torque is required, and as DC motors are used for high starting torque applications, so this motor is very suitable for traction based or traction related applications. So due to commutators, DC motors are not suitable for very high speed applications. They require more maintenance that AC motors do. Because you see what is happening, the commutator segments are there to make the bidirectional output in unidirectional to unidirectional output. So that is the main purpose of commutators. So when the current is collected from the commutator segments with the help of brushes, what you require is you need to maintain those commutator segments in a periodic manner, because what will happen, the brushes are in constant contact with the commutator segments, and as the machine rotates, these commutators as well as the brushes, they will wear with time, because these are high speed applications and you have to do maintenance in a periodic manner. So this is to some extent not suitable for high speed applications. So they are not suitable for very high speed applications that the AC motors do. With the recent advancement in power conversions and control technology, that is microcomputers, the AC motor drives are becoming increasingly acceptable with respect to DC motor drives. Although the future is trending toward AC drives, actually there is a paradigm shift where the trend is shifting from DC drives to AC drives. So DC drives are used for application in the industries where there is still requirement of high starting torque, but at one point of time they will be completely replaced by AC drives with the advent of technology. Now, with the help of power electronics, what we can do is we can provide a variable DC output voltage from a fixed, with the help of rectifiers, that is, to a variable DC output voltage is possible from a fixed AC voltage, where a DC to DC converter can provide a variable DC from a fixed DC voltage. So with the help of power electronics, whether it is AC or DC, the voltage can be converted and it can be controlled. So due to their ability to supply continuously a variable DC voltage, controlled rectifiers and DC to DC converters made a revolution in modern industrial control equipment. So that is choppers and phase controlled rectifiers. So these two power electronic appliances, they made a revolution in the industry, where they are giving you the controllability over the voltage and variability over the voltage. These two things are attainable with the help of these two devices, and with the power levels ranging from fractional horsepower to several megawatts. So the voltage conversion, voltage level changing and the power level changing, they are advantageous. So controlled rectifiers are generally used for the speed control of DC motors. So controlled rectifiers are generally used for the speed control of DC motors. The alternative form will be a diode rectifier followed by a DC to DC converter, that is chopper. So DC drives can be classified in general into three types. One is the single phase drives, three phase drives, and DC to DC converter drives. So single phase drives, three phase drives, and DC to DC converter drives. So they will be elaborated in the upcoming lectures, but today we have covered that why we will be choosing DC drives and what are the properties and obtaining the high starting torque and controllability over the speed. These properties we have studied, or these characteristics rather, we have studied for a brief introduction. So we will be continuing the subsequent characteristics and different methods and modes of speed control and the quadrant operation over the entire speed torque plane, that we will be studying in the upcoming lecture. So what I would request you is that if you have any questions or if you have any queries, feel free to contact me. You can mail me, or rather you can put your comments in the YouTube links that is provided. So I will be answering all your doubts and all your queries, because you see, when you are studying any applications, first your conceptions and why you are doing this, these things should be clear to you, because until and unless they are clear, your subsequent ideas that will not be proper. and your perception will not be proper. So this should not happen. So do the needful from your end. So we will stop here for today. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.